Let's talk to our correspondents. We're going to bring in our correspondent in Jerusalem, Noga Tarnopolsky, our correspondent joining us as well from Tehran, Reza, Sayah, and our international affairs editor, Shirley Sitbon, are all with me at the moment. Let's start with you, Noga, to react to the latest that we've been hearing on these attacks, ongoing attacks from what we gather on Lebanon at the moment, as the fighting has spread across the border there.
Absolutely. This was all along a possibility, a major concern, certainly for residents of the Israeli north and residents of the Lebanese south. But there has been a tussle within Lebanon that could still be significant, with the Lebanese government that is making very major efforts to reconstitute the institutions of the Lebanese state with American and French support, versus Hezbollah that wants to retain its independence and its power as basically an independent Islamist militia within the Lebanese state. So Hezbollah warned that it would respond to Israel, it would retaliate if it considered that Israel had engaged in a major attack against its sponsor, Iran. This is what has happened, but we don't yet know if Hezbollah has the firepower or the political ability within Lebanon to keep this up and to turn this into a real front in the war. Hezbollah has not only the concern of being continuously bombed by Israel, which is what is happening today, within Lebanon, where the people, like everywhere, are really hoping for peace and stability.
Let's bring in as well Reza Sayah, our correspondent in Tehran. Reza, presumably the regime there would very much welcome Hezbollah joining in the fight here.
They would presumably welcome them joining the fight, but they haven't publicly called on them to join the fight. Obviously, Iran has a relationship with Hezbollah. There are three main allies in the region. Their armed allies are the Houthis in Yemen, Hamas in Gaza, and Hezbollah in Lebanon. They've never made a call out to Hezbollah to join in on the fight. And obviously, Hezbollah's capabilities have been degraded over the past year, but over the past 24 hours, they made a decision to launch some strikes against Israeli forces in response to the supreme leader's killing on Saturday. Of course, Iran is the main funder of Hezbollah. Hezbollah looks to Iran as their sponsor. Is this a symbolic gesture? Is this a symbolic move? Possibly. Is it going to continue in the coming hours, in the coming days? Are they going to be a main supporter of Iran in what is now a regional conflict? We'll wait and see.
Reza, we're also hearing, you talk about symbolic moves, we're just hearing, in fact, Iranian missiles targeting a Saudi base near Riyadh have been intercepted. Once again, the Iranian regime trying and managing, in some cases, to hit back outside its own borders at targets across the region there?
Yeah, and it looks like they're doing that over the past 24 hours. Iran has continued what looks to be an aggressive retaliation to U.S. and Israeli airstrikes, targeting U.S. assets, U.S. bases, U.S. allies in the region, hitting an oil installation in Saudi Arabia, U.S. bases in Cyprus, Bahrain, of course, hitting Israel, cities like Haifa and Jerusalem. Also hitting bases in Kuwait. And the Kuwaiti defense minister this morning releasing a statement confirming that several U.S. F-15 fighter jets had crash landed. Some videos posted on social media purportedly showed those crash landings. How they crash landed, it's not clear. Iranian officials said they were shot down over Iranian airspace and landed in Kuwaiti airspace. So a big success from Iran's point of view, shooting down U.S. F-15s, if indeed that's what they did.
Let me come back to you, Noga Tarnopolsky, in Jerusalem. Noga, what would you say is the public sentiment there after this weekend? Obviously, initially it was very much Israel and the US making those attacks, but since Iran has started to respond, there have also been inevitably a lot of incidents in Israel, including those 9 killed relative in the center of Israel yesterday. People beginning to really question what Benjamin Netanyahu's decisions have been here?
Well, I think that much faster than we could have predicted, the Israeli homeland, let's say, Israeli civilians have started to pay a significant price. And also there are fears of the unknown among Israelis. So while it is widely understood among really across the board, I would say, among Israelis, that Iran has been a menace to Israel and that it would be positive for Israel to diminish the threat from Iran, which is what Prime Minister Netanyahu claims to do. There is a growing sense here that the Israeli home front may be paying a very high price with people killed daily. And also now we're hearing from Saudi Arabia and even from Qatar that they may retaliate against Iran. So there is now explicitly that they may retaliate against Iran, just to make sure I said that correctly. So there is a growing awareness that Israel may have gotten itself into a war in which there's no clear exit, that could possibly more rapidly than thought proceed into becoming a regional war and cause some kind of chaos. So there's deep concern. Again, I still think that on day 3 of this operation, there is a general agreement among Israelis that weakening the Islamic regime's ability to threaten Israel is a good thing. But I think that there are, palpably growing concerns here. Certainly, concerns that there may not be a plan, an Israeli or an American or a joint plan moving forward.
Yeah, in fact, as you're talking there, Noga, we're just getting a comment coming in from the IDF saying at this stage they see no reason for a Lebanese ground invasion. That's just coming into us.
Right, because even as little ago as half an hour, the IDF spokesperson had left the question open, and it sounded as if Israel might have been planning an infantry invasion of Lebanon, which of course would change the lives of Israelis radically, because if 100,000 reserve soldiers have been called up since Friday, a similar number would have had to be called up for preparations for a ground invasion of Lebanon. So all of this has a direct and massive impact on the ability of Israelis to simply live their lives. Right now, everything has stopped. There's no school. There's very little work. It's a holiday here. It's the holiday of Purim. Most of the festivities have had to be canceled because of the security risks. And again, there have been people wounded and killed so far in every day of this operation in the heart of Israeli cities. And I think that this is going to be a growing concern for the people of Israel and also, I expect, for the government of Israel.
Reza, I wanted to put that question that I put to Noga to you as well. I don't know how easy it is for you to go out and about on the streets of Tehran at the moment and talk to people, but what kind of sentiment are you judging and feeling that there might be there after this weekend of violence?
I think it's that sentiment of uncertainty, fear, anxiety. The streets are very quiet, seemingly peaceful for now. This time 24 hours ago, everywhere I looked, there was huge explosions, plumes of smoke. Not the case today. A little bit of calm, and I think a lot of people are at home just waiting to see what's happening. In the meantime, important to point out that government officials here over the past 24 hours doing their best to project strength and resilience. Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi almost prodding Washington, saying that Iran has taken lessons from U.S. defeats in the region over the past decades. They're using those lessons in this war, and they're going to decide how this war ends. The secretary of Iran's National Security Council, Ali Larijani, today in a statement saying that Tehran is not going to negotiate with terrorists, an apparent rejection to U.S. President Donald Trump's claims that Tehran has reached out and wants to negotiate. Ali Larijani says that's not the case. It's tough to assess and analyze things, but based on what we're seeing from our limited vantage point, indeed, Iran has taken a lot of hits. It has lost senior leaders, including the supreme leader, but it looks like they're also exacting heavy prices in the region in U.S. assets in what increasingly looks like a war of wills and attrition.